Hey friends, and welcome back to MSFS Flight Plans. Nick here. We are going to take a tribute tour for Mamu Designs. You guys know I am one of his biggest fanboys. He makes the Marinas pack, the Solar Farms and Power Lines pack, and the Chairlifts pack. And towards the end of that last flight when we were out in Jurassic Park, I had mentioned that there was, I think that was the flight I mentioned it on, that I had read somewhere or heard somewhere that you can actually ride in the cable cars now. I know he had a big recent update. I didn't really know what the big part of it was, and then I saw that and I figured, well, we better check that out. It's not completely intuitive. You will need a little instruction if you haven't already seen a video that he had posted on YouTube, and I can't even find it again now. I wanted to link it, but I can't find the video now. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you if you have the Chairlifts pack, which I think on Sim Market it said like 16 euros. I don't know what that translates to in US dollars, so probably 16 or 17 US bucks. But we've got a freeware add-on airport here that we're going to check out real quick, and then we're going to go ride the cable cars. I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you a couple of other incredible things. But before we check out this airport, and yes, we're going to fly the Alouette because we haven't done it in a while. It seemed to fit pretty well. Let me show you where exactly we are. What did I close down? Little NavMap? Just a minute. Let me open it back up. We should be right where we left off. Okay, so we are in the Alps because it's beautiful and there's lots of chairlifts and gondolas and cable cars. So we're just above Venice. So here's Italy right here, just in case you're map blind. And Venice is right here. And this is kind of a tough one to spot. So I kind of just, well, an easy way to do it would be load up this flight plan in the little NavMap, which will be included in the video description. But I had trouble finding it once I zoomed in because it was tough to find the markers. But I just looked for this little lake right here, which points up to the town of Bolzano. I kind of like the way that sounds for some reason. Bolzano. And then if you look over to the east about, let's see exactly how many miles that is, just to make your life a little bit easier if you don't have a little nav map. So the actual spot where we're going to get on the lift is roughly 23 nautical miles directly east of Bolzano. So that's where we're at. There's one helipad. If you import all your helipads over to the little nav map, there's one right here. And there's one pretty close to the base of it, but if you're going to get out of your helicopter and walk over to the chairlifts, which you don't necessarily have to do, it's still a pretty good hike. It's probably right about here. I turned the helipads off. Let me just show you exactly where it is. Oh, I've got them completely turned off. I just had the airports turned on. It's like right here, and I couldn't even find it on the map, but there's a parking spot right here. That's where we're going to land, a parking lot. So if you want to import the bookmark file, I also put a helipad icon in where we're landing and we're taking off, but you'll be able to see it if you bring in this flight plan. This is not a complete flight plan because it does not go to a particular destination. I did not connect it back up to a helipad, so you'll just have to look at it like this and then draw it to airports or anything if you want to. This is where the freeware add-on airport is, which is great because there are not any other airports really anywhere around here. As you'll see once we get up in the air, it's got a very, very short runway, but would probably be a heck of a lot of fun and a great landing challenge if you were in a bush plane. So we'll check that out as we fly over. So that's that. Let me show you one more thing real quick that Mamu had pointed out to me, which is a map that he's got that shows where all of his, well, really where all of his everything is all over the world. This one is just for the chairlifts, cable cars, gondolas, mixed lift, drag lift, and I don't know what that is. Lit piste? So this one is just showing the cable cars. The cable cars are the only ones you can ride and the only ones that will be animated. I had asked him if there was a way to turn on all the chairlift animations, and he said it would be impossible. It would crash the sim. It's too much little stuff moving around. So it's just the cable cars, but that's fine because the cable cars are the only ones that you can ride. And as you can see in the U.S., we have, actually I was surprised that we had this many cable cars, and these are not like San Francisco cable cars. That's what I think of when I think of cable cars. These are like big, huge gondolas that hold multiple people, the kind you like stand up in. But I was really astonished by this. I did not realize the U.S. had this many of them. And down here in the Andes, we've got some. And for reasons you'll understand by the time we're done, I'm going to probably try to check out as many of these as I possibly can. But look what we got over here in the Alps. So they're all over the place. And in China, man, we're just looking for an excuse to go to China. Japan, check that out. Now, here's something that's also pretty helpful. I'm not sure which exactly of these we're at because you can see there's a lot of them, and they're all in Italian names. So if we were just kind of trying to spot where was Venice again, over here, we're probably somewhere right around here. And if you were looking at this and you're like, well, geez, okay, well, what's the nearest airport to that? You can just come up here and click on airports, and it'll show you. So as you can see, there's not one very close to this. Bolzano looks like it's probably the closest one, and I think that was like 25 miles. So this little add-on, which is going to pop us right about here, is just in the perfect spot. I'll also link this map. I would have never been able to find this or even know it existed if Mamu hadn't let me know about it, so that will be in the video description. Let's park this back over here. And park a little NavMap back over here. And we'll take a look at this. Now make sure you watch this video to the end, or skip to the end if you want, because you're going to need to see how to activate the chairlifts and gondolas and all that stuff. Well, really just the cable cars. I'm going to keep saying those interchangeably, but look at this airport. Also freeware, also will be linked. And now I just love this. I'm a huge fan of this kind of graphic design, the vintage style. If I could give you a video tour of my sim pit, you would see my walls are covered by vintage travel posters. I've put one up there for all of the different places we've been to. Not all of the places we've been to. I'd have complete wall-to-wall coverage if I did. But I'm a really big fan of that. There was nothing out here before, literally nothing. And this isn't the live weather. I threw some snow out here because I thought it looked better. And it does. It looks gorgeous. So you got the power lines up there. You got multiple hangars that you can drive your planes or helicopters into or out of if you'd like to. And one of the things I really like about this, a lot of times when you go to flightsim.to and you download a complex add-on, and this file wasn't really huge, you know you also have to bring in lots of asset packs, and those usually are huge, like multiple gigabytes. This one is completely self-contained. It's got everything in it, so you don't need to go and install multiple gigabytes of other additional things to try to find them, get them out, make sure it doesn't conflict with anything. I've had no problems. It says it's got a 2020 only tag in there, but there's a little line in the description that says it works great for 2024 with only minor glitches. I haven't even seen the minor glitches, so it seems to be working flawlessly. And this is a pretty big area with lots of stuff, so what we'll do is get back in the Alouette here. Thank you, Teog, for making an awesome helicopter. And we'll just do a little flyover, and then we're going to take a trip out over tons of ski resorts on the way over to the spot where we'll get in the cable car. And that whole flight route is about 14 miles, so it'll be just a few minutes while we go over there. And I'm sure we can find some things to talk about. Okay, let's hop back in this thing, and we'll get going. Just amazing. So there's places to park the aircraft. If you want to start with aircraft, you can start on the runway, of course. And if you zoom in, you'll see that there are a few helipad spots, which is the one that we selected right here. And I haven't been in here in a while. Let's see which way this is going to yaw when we bring her up. That way, okay. And since we're on the right side of it, I took the doors off this thing. Boy, you'd think it'd be just screaming loud. It did change the sound a little bit, but considering how loud it was on the outside, but I'm kind of glad so I don't have to keep yelling. So here's the road that comes around, if you're driving your plane all the way around here. You could actually drive this thing. It's got wheels. And we're going to have a cave that you can drive the plane through. I didn't try it because I wasn't driving this helicopter all over the place, but you can actually cruise through the cave to get all the way back here to the parking area. And there's the cave right there. You see the entrance? And on the other side of it is the runway. And look down there, that little cabin, there's actually smoke coming out of it. I should have turned the lights down to see what this looks like at night. I'll let you do that. So the road bends all the way around, then S-turns again once it goes past that little cabin down there, back through the cave over here with some kind of animated lighting on it. Out the other side, and this kind of reminds me of like a dirt, like rally track. Just the way it looks and winds around, especially when there's no snow on it, because everything's all dirt. And then here's the runway, right along the top of this ridge crest right here. And it's not really long, so you can see why I said it's a bit of a landing challenge. You got power lines. I think they gave you a little control tower, like a fire lookout down there. Look at that, there's the runway. But it does look like they have like a little aircraft carrier launch at the end of it, so that'll give you some help getting up in the air, I guess. How cool is that for a freeware add-on pack? If you were to buy one of these that someone was charging for, I would say this would probably be at least 15 bucks for that much stuff and that neat looking, and I'd probably pay for it. But thank you so much. I wish I could remember the dev's name. I should have looked at that so we could give him some props. I'll buy him a coffee. If he's got the thing on there to do it. Look at that. That is just so cool. What a great add-on. Fantastic work and a great spot for it. Nice big flat area up there to put it all on. Looks really cool. Okay, so we're going to head over this way and check out some of Mamu's other work as we're coming through here. There's a huge resort with slopes and lifts all over the place. And I feel like this is just like a best-of showcase for Mamu because we've got all of the different kinds of lifts, from drag lifts, which are the little things that are just a rope, which I've ruined many a snow glove on as it just burned through all the fabric on there. And then we've got regular old chair lifts. We got, I guess, whatever is between a gondola, which is the thing that's a little bit bigger. And then, of course, we'll have the cable cars, which are the really big ones. So again, and I did contact Mamu this morning and just asked him, will everything animate or just the cable cars? And he said it's just the cable cars, so the little stuff won't. Now, what's that? That's interesting looking. It looks like soccer goals. I wonder if those are like slalom skiing area. See those little gates down there? Look at all these things. All over the place. So we're going to come up here across the top of this bowl and then just follow this little ravine over to the spot where we're going to pick up the cable cars. That just adds so much. If we were out here and it was just, I mean, I guess it's kind of neat to see a ski resort from the air, but having all of the lifts really adds a lot to everything for me. Really does. As if all this wasn't exciting enough, we're going to come up over a little dam up in the mountains, fly over a little alpine lake right as we're coming in. So even if you don't have the $15 to pick this up, you can still fly this route just to see some really neat stuff. And by the way, speaking of that, if you really would like to buy several different add-ons, we still are waiting for one more flight for our quarterly flight plan competition. This little drought in simming, which is starting to pick up now it seems, has left me without any user recommendations. Obviously, I have found no shortage of things to fly around and look at. But if you've got a spot we got to check out, hop on. Well, you could just leave a Facebook comment if you want to. Not Facebook, but I don't use Facebook. YouTube comment, or you can hop on our Discord server. So there's gondolas right there. See those yellow things? So slightly bigger than the chairlifts. Probably jam a few people in there, but not as big as the cable cars. Look at that. We got more slopes over there, and we're coming over this way. No, we're not. We're following this one this way over here, okay? It all kind of looks the same when you're in the air. But drop me a line on Discord or on YouTube if you want. If we take the flight, we will load it up, and look at those. Those look even different than the others. Okay, so those are probably... Yeah, that's a cable car right there. See how big that one is right down there? I can't point to it because I got both hands on the controls. So once we get one more, we've already got two, and this is definitely stretched out longer than a quarter because I haven't had any other recommendations in a while. I will load up the 3 flights that we have loaded up on YouTube. We'll vote as a sim community, and the winner will get a $75 gift card to the sim vendor of your choice, which would be enough for you to buy all of Mamu's packs and then some. I haven't skied in a while since we went to Breckenridge back in 2020, and that was the first time I'd skied in 20 years, but this would be incredible. And I'd like to come up here where there's a lot less things for me to slam into, like trees. That is just amazing. Someone had left me a comment on, I think it was the Jurassic Flight video. Yeah, the Jurassic World flight that we did just recently, saying, gosh, well, initially he thought it was $50 for the pack, which if you get the whole complete pack, it is $50, but the base level pack, which is the one I got, was $25. And he was saying, man, that's a lot of money for something that you're just going to fly over for a little while, probably never go back to. I'd rather spend it on a plane or something that I'll check out and use a lot. And I totally get that, because you're totally right. I spent about 3 days flying all around it, but it's not the type of place where you would just keep going back to week after week after week. So that's an executive decision you'll have to make, whether or not you want to spend money on this or any other add-on packs that I'm always glorifying and touting here on the channel. And again, if this is the first time that you've seen any of our flights, I do not accept money from anybody for saying any of this stuff. People ask me all the time if they can pay me or have me endorse their stuff, and I say, hey man, if you make something that's great, I say man, but I haven't run into any women yet that are making this kind of stuff. I don't need to be paid for it. I want to support the sim community, and I will post a video of it if I love it. And there have been a few that I haven't posted, and I just gave them some feedback and said, hey, this is what would make this awesome. And if you do that, I'll post it. So everything we're showcasing here is full-hearted endorsements without being coerced into doing it. But I get it. I don't spend money on anything else. I sim. That's my thing. And now I just looked before we started this flight. I've got roughly 4,500 hours between 2020 and 2024. That's over the course of 4 years. That's how long it's been since I started simming again. I sim pretty much every night, and that's over 1,000 hours a year of simming. This is my thing. It's what I do. I don't golf. I don't drive expensive cars. I don't wear expensive clothes. I don't even go out to eat at restaurants. I don't go to the movies, except very occasionally with my family. So when looking at things like the Jurassic World add-on pack, yeah, it's $25. I spent 3 days, almost continuous days, flying around in there, and I might not ever go back in there again unless I was group flying with someone or something. But $25 for 3 days of entertainment, or $120 to take my family of 6 to the movies. I'm going to sound like a horrible husband and father for saying this, but I'd rather spend the 3 days in the sim, to be honest with you. So it's all a matter of where you want to put your money. I like putting it here, and I definitely like supporting all of the guys that make the sim community so awesome. From the modders to the guys that make the hardware, guys making planes, obviously. And then all the other applications like VATSIM, those are all volunteers. And Pilot Edge, which again, I just can't say enough great things about. So here's this dam. Look at this. You can tell it's a dam because that top lip looks to be reinforced, but you could see, even if I didn't have the snow up there, let's see if we can get some ripples going on this thing. It looks like it's a cliff on this side of it, and I don't know if that's accurate or not, but you can tell by that top edge there that they have somehow reinforced it. So I don't know if they got a little hydro station in there or not, but that's pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, we got a little bit of wind. I can see some waves down there. Gosh, you can't tell how high you are until you get closer to it. Let's see if we can get it rippling before we get to the end of it. So yeah, that's where I spend my money. And I spend a lot of money here in the sim, as you can probably imagine, but it is my passion. Boy, we're real close. I wonder if I'm riding on it. I don't think so. Cool. All right, let's pick it up a little bit, just so we can get over there and see these. Now, it's a little bit tricky getting into this spot where we're going to get on the cable cars. So I'll show you how we're going to navigate it. We're actually going to fly underneath, which we probably shouldn't do in real life, but that's why we're in the sim and not doing it in real life. We're going to fly underneath the cable car line. We're going to hang a tight little left and get down there and hit that parking spot, which is very conveniently placed to put a helicopter down in. And we'll see some more lifts and stuff as we're coming around. We've got about 2 miles to go if you're wondering how close we are. And speaking of travel, I've got a little personal story about old Nixter here. I got 4 daughters, if you haven't heard me say that before. 2 of them are now graduated from high school, one's in college, well, 2 are in college now. And each year when the seniors graduate, I tell them I'll take them on a domestic trip anywhere they want to go. So last year, maybe the year before, my oldest daughter and I took that trip up through the Smokies. Well, look at that. That must be a bunny slope because there's a lift of some kind, which I'm guessing is a tow lift, or rope lift as we call them here in the U.S. at some slopes, because it does not appear to be on any kind of a hill. There's a bigger chairlift, but that little one next to it's not really going anywhere. We went up through the Smokies with my oldest daughter last year, up through, if you're from the southeast, Helen, Georgia, Pigeon Forge, Cherokee, North Carolina, I think. I don't know if that's in Tennessee or not. It might straddle the border. And then up to Boone, North Carolina. We took a flight up by there on the channel here. And my next oldest daughter that just graduated wants to go to New York City. And I would really love to take her there. I've been to New York City many times. It's been quite a while, though. The last time I went was in 2000, and it was a different New York City back then. Very different. That was before 9/11, of course. But it's just so expensive. I mean, never mind the flights, but you got to... I mean, you really don't have to rent a car in New York City as long as you can get to your hotel. But I'm not real thrilled about... There's the cable car hanging there just to our left over our panel there. So we're going to fly under these wires right here and swing back around to the base of it. So my heart's a little bit broken because hotel rooms are $400 or $500 a night if you want to stay in the city. The travel and all that would be a little bit expensive. And I've got to spend all this money in the sim, of course. So I'm trying to very delicately talk her into maybe selecting another location. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. And there's the parking lot right behind the base of the cable car. So what we'll do is I'll set her down. We'll get out of the helicopter. We'll walk over there to the base of it. And then I'll show you how to get this installed. And there's a few steps you will not see when I show you this, but I'll explain when you'll see them because I've already got it installed. But I'll show you how to activate it and everything. Because you would not know how to do this, I don't think, if you just loaded it up on your own. I certainly didn't. And if anyone can find a little tutorial video for Mamu, and his name's not Mamu, his YouTube channel has his actual name, I can't recall what it is, it looks like it might be Italian or something, then I'll link that. If anyone can find it again, just drop me a message. Or Mamu, if you're watching this, send me that link again, because he'll give you the full walkthrough of how to use everything. And it's nice to see his face. Whoa, this baby really starts to yaw to the left once you slow down. This is a very convenient spot here. All right, come on down. There we go. There we go. Oh, okay. We're down. I'm just going to leave it running for now because I don't feel like going through the shutdown procedure, which I don't really recall for this helicopter. Okay, thanks for the lift, guys. By the way, this is the Air Glaciers livery, which looks fantastic. There's lots of them you can select between if you want to pick up this helicopter. All right, so we'll just scramble our way up over here, and you can see the cable cars are not moving right now. We're about to change that. And I thought the first time I came in here that maybe you just have to wait for the thing to come down, then try to click on the door or something to get into it. That's not how it works. So I'll explain that to you. We'll just come on up. But you don't even have to come in here if you don't want to. I'm just showing you that you can walk up the stairs. Okay, so this is assuming that you already have the pack and that you have it installed in your community folder. From here, what you'll do is go into that file, and there are two different files. Let me back up a little bit here. There's one you're going to get that is the EFB animate lifts file, and the other one is just the project lifts file. So make sure you click in the right one. If you click in this one, at least for me, it's just the content info. So the other one is going to have the actual application in it. That's just the project lifts file. Once you're in there, go to the animate lifts folder. It looks like it just started it up for us. And then in here, you will see the icon to start the application. And when you click on that the first time, it'll send you through some prompts about what language you want, whether you're in 2020 or 2024. And then once you have all that set up, which I can't show you now because I already have it installed, it'll bring this in. If it brings this in and the lifts aren't running, then you'll go up here to File, Connect to MSFS, and then this will change from not connected to running. And there's a couple of different things that we can do with this, and I'm just going to kind of leave them all off to surprise you with it. And again, in that link from Mamu that I'll put on here for his video, if someone can send it to me, it goes through more details about this. I'm just kind of looking through all this because I haven't had... Okay, well, let's not worry about that right now. Let's get to how to get this thing running. So you'll come to your EFB once you have all that stuff activated. And then let's back up a little bit. You go to the More Apps icon down here. This is where you'll find it. And you can see we have the Animate Lifts EFB app. And when you click on that, it'll get the thing going. This is how you actually get into it. So you can shuffle the passengers. As you're going to see once we get inside of it, the passengers will start moving around. And then when we hit Take a Ride, that'll get us going inside of this thing. And it doesn't matter where the car is. It doesn't matter if it's in front of you or not. So hit Take a Ride.
Welcome on board the
and listen to that.
Cable car. Take your seat.
Now, this is what's incredible about this. It's not just like a default loop set narration. It will go to anywhere you are in the world and tell you about the local area with a narration. Of all of those hundreds of cable cars, if not thousands, all over the world. So how many times do you think I'm going to be doing that over the next 3 years? Listen to that. It's talking about this area. And you can do this anywhere in the world. Incredible. So I asked Mamu about that, and he said, yeah, you can get AI to link up to where you are, and then somehow he's got it hooked up so that ChatGPT or whatever he's using is just giving us this narration of wherever we are. So I'm guessing maybe there's 3 cable cars right in this vicinity. They might have the same one. I didn't try it out. You need to be dressed a little bit warmer there, pal. It's too cold for that kind of outfit. Now that guy's got the right attire. And you can look around inside here, but you can see we're standing a little too close to that guy, so we can see his larynx there, which is gross, and down his esophagus. So we'll just stop looking at that. So let's just try shuffling the passengers to see what that does. See if we can get that guy with his little Italian tank top out of here. There we go. But we do have some blue hair, purple hair people. Guys, this is just amazing. This is amazing. Oh, he moved in back of it. Oh, is that a girl? Oh boy, I better be careful. I better be careful. What's up, bro? That's definitely not a girl. Well, it might be. He's got the eyeliner on. Who knows?
Fostering a deeper appreciation for the area's natural
okay, let's just write it a little bit further. I'll just let you listen to this for a minute.
At the top, the views are nothing short of spectacular. On a clear day, one can see the towering peaks of Punta Pina and Punta Rocca, their snow-capped summits glistening in the sunlight. The valleys below stretch out in a tapestry of greens and browns, interspersed with the occasional glow.
Guys, this is just so amazing. What excites me about this is, again, I love seeing the first gen stuff. This is the first time I've seen anything that well, we have you can get those narration apps that you can listen to in your plane, so I guess this isn't really the first thing going on with that, but it's definitely the first time that we've got either animated lifter cable cars that you can ride in and get the narration for wherever you are. That's pretty slick. Really, really cool. All right, guys, so that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. We'll just ride all this thing all the way to the top. If you feel like you want to watch it all the way to the top, you can hang out, but I'll go ahead and check out. If you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. If you don't know how to contact Mamu himself, and I'm sure he probably gets tons and tons of comments and questions about this, reach out to me, let me know, and I'll try to help you out the best I can. I think I've got most of it figured out at this point. I'll catch you guys later.
Opportunity for exploration and adventure. The flora and fauna of the area add another layer of interest to any visit. The forests are home to a variety of wildlife, including chamois and marmots, while the alpine meadows burst into color during the summer months with an array of wildflowers. Birdwatchers might spot golden